Yo, can you guys hear me? Yeah, yo, what up? Just getting some shit done. Okay, where's the guy? This guy, apparently I have 2 quests I have to do with him. I get 2 transmogs. Big day. Huge day. Alright. Oh wait, what was that? Oh no, I had that. Sorry, I confused myself. Uh-oh. Okay, we're good. How you doing? I'm chilling, man. I got some food, ate the food, and now I'm just kind of chilling. I'm gonna do a little bit of WoW stuff. I might do some Lost Ark stuff too. I haven't decided yet. I'm not sure. Okay. I wish I just click on these rather than have to click the button. You feeling good? Yeah, I'm alright. I think I ate a little bit too much, or I ate too early. Usually whenever I wake up, I'm not about to eat, and I just ate today in the morning anyway, and it was a little bit probably too early for me to eat, but it is what it is. It was 100% accurate. Oh, about the fucking sore thing? I messaged Blizzard about it. So we'll see what happens. What they say? I mean, like, we'll see. Like, I get what they're trying to do. I understand it, but like, it's just like, if you play the game, like, you'd know, like, that's not really true. Hey, you eat in the morning too? Yeah, sometimes it's alright. I think it just depends on the food and just like the day, you know. Some days it's good, some days it's not. Today was the day it kind of wasn't. I wanted to start earlier today, but I didn't. Aggressive because trolling didn't work. I think they keep listening to it. No, I mean, I message them, I'm like, listen, like, this not, like, you know, like, nobody gives a shit about, like, going and doing transmog and stuff. Like, just let people play the game the way they want. Like, basically, what I think they should do is, more than anything, they should just try to fix, oh, I fucking hate this one. They'll add worldwide dragon flying in 10.1 patch. Well, see, that's what I'm worried about. Like, I'm worried that they will do that. And the reason why I say worried, even though, like, you'd be like, oh, why are you worried? That's a good thing. It's because it's like, it's the mindset behind it, I think, is dumb. Dragon Rain is gonna run over everybody. It's pretty minor to me, not gonna lie. It's not a big deal to me either. I mean, like, it's just something that you're gonna be able to do. It's not a big deal. Alright, let's go kill this guy. There we go. What's up, bitch? I never even pay attention to what happens with this. Like, I have no idea. I just walk up to this guy and I just hit buttons until he dies. These are so good. Yeah. Said nobody ever. Did you already make a statement about the new 500 achievement mount? No, I'll get to that. Uh-oh, I'm gonna die. I might actually. Let's see what happens. The new 500 mount still sucks. The thing is, like, if you farm out 500 mounts, you're gonna want to get something good, right? Like, you don't want to have a, you know, fucking some bullshit. Like, you want to have like a really cool looking mount and something that's unique. Like, for example, let me show you guys. Get away from this dick sucker here. Come on, leave me alone. What is this? Jesus. Okay, so anyway, where is it? What's it called? Dragonhawk? This one was fucking insane. Like, whenever somebody got this mount, it was such a big fucking deal. Like, everybody would be like, what the fuck? It was just, you couldn't get any other mount except for this one, which is like a fucking TCG mount, but it was like a blue version and it looked a lot different. So like, and like, you gotta think back in like Wrath of the Lich King, whenever you saw somebody posted up on this, it was a big fucking deal, man. So like, that one was fucking huge. Nowadays we've got 3 other ones, right? So it's not that big of a deal. Like this one, it's like Mount Parade. Like, well, I mean, we kind of, like, this one is cool. Like, it's definitely a cool looking mount, but it doesn't have like that wow factor, you know? And then you have, where is it? This one here, Lord of the Rains, and this was for 300 mounts. And whenever they brought this one out, this one was pretty hard to get too. And it's like, if you saw somebody on this, like, this one stands out. You know what I mean? Like, it completely fucking stands out. Like, if you see this shit, you know it's like, oh my god, we've got a long dick, right? And so this was a big dick mount. And then this one, again, like, it's a reskin, or it's a recolor, right? But it's so vibrant. Like, if you see this, you're not going to mistake it with any other mount. You know what I mean? Like, this one, like, you see this shit and it's like, boom, there it is. Like, this one sucks. I don't think it's not the strongest one. I agree with you there. Like, we have like 4 Raven Lords now. But, it was still like, it's still a mount that, like, it stands out. This mount will never be confused with any other mount. Fundamentally, like, that's really what it comes down to for me, is that that's not going to happen. So you've got that, and like, there's other mounts like this one right here, right? You get the Brutosaur. Everybody knows what the fucking Brutosaur is. It's a big boy. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it. So these are the mounts that are good. Like, mounts that are like super unique, like the Ruckmar mount. Nobody had the Ruckmar mount. Now obviously they added one in, and like, I think it was Legion ahead of the curve or something like that, and so like, it's not as rare as it is now. But like, this one was like, this, like, for example, like, if you see one of these, like, compare the difference, right? This one is like, this mount looks like this mount if it got left out in the sun too long. You know? Like, this shit's badass. Like, it stands out, like, immediately. Like, if you see somebody on this mount, you immediately know this is the mount. Whereas, like, this mount here, Mechagon Peacekeeper does look very, very unique, right? It looks, or very, very, like, it stands out a little bit, but, like, does it stand out that much? Nah. Nah. You know what I mean? Eh. Mechagon bike is super unique. Yeah, the bike is really cool. You only got 2 of those in the game, and so if you have one of these, it's like, oh shit, that's hard to get. Just make sure I turn both of these on. There it is, and there it is. Great. Okay, well that's 2 new items for me. Now it's Jitar. Oh no. Let's see here. And so you have a mount that's like so rare, and like it's again about like standing out. Like you want to have a mount that stands out. Like these stand out. This one I don't think really stands out. Like it's just fucking boring. You want to know the best example of the whole game is this one right here. This mount was like the fucking showstopper. Like if you fucking had this shit, oh my god. This mount, like you gotta understand, like whenever this came out, literally the only other mounts that were in the game were like the Nether Drakes and the Griffins. So if you saw somebody on Ashes of Alar, and it has like, I mean, it's still cool. This came out in 2007, man. It's so, yeah, you were the guy. I remember there were 2 people on my server that had it. And everybody would be crowded around them every time. I remember, like, I farmed this out with this guy. Like, he and I, like, we would do mount runs together. And, like, I would go on my main, and then he'd go on his alt, and then he'd go on his main, and I'd go on my alt, and, like, we'd do mount runs for each other. And, we did that shit for years, and I remember we both got the mount together. Like, all of the screenshot of us riding the mount together, in the Cataclysm story whenever it comes out. So, like, you've got a mount like that, and you've got, like, this one I thought was stupid. Who cares about this one? This mount is like really not that much of a standout mount. It's just like very well known, and so everybody knows it's kind of a big deal. Or at least actually I think a lot of people probably don't even know. Spider mount stands out. Like in Legion there's only 1 spider. There's 1 spider in the whole game. So like you see this mount, you know, big dick. Big dick. This one was kind of hard to get. This one was actually a big deal. The reason why is like there was only, whenever it came out, this mount was the only other Mushan available besides Galleon, and Galleon was 1 in 2k, so 1 in 2,000 chance for it to drop. So like this was a pretty rare mount because you'd see him all the time in Pandaria, and it was like, okay, well, you know, there's only 1 you can get in the game, and it's like impossible. Bruce, I don't think anybody gave a shit about Bruce, honestly. Like whenever Bruce came out, where is Bruce? Fuck. There's Bruce. I don't know. I mean, like, it's just, it's an alligator, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't feel like it was that big of a deal. Like, maybe other people did. Like, this mount's really cool. Actually, like, this is a good example. Like, this mount is actually a really cool mount. It's rare, it's unique, it's cool. This one was a big deal, too. Like, there were no Yetis in the game. Was the first Yeti that got put in the game. This one was kind of cool too, but like it wasn't that big of a deal, even though it was super rare. These gladiator mounts, like these stood out a lot too, because like nobody really had these, and the only other way you can get a Storm Drake is like from the Valajar, and it's a red one. So like, if you want like a blue Storm Drake, you gotta get the Gladiator one. And I have the worst one too. This is the worst mount in the whole game. And I have it. It's what I deserve. I played Prot Warrior on this season, so I didn't really even deserve Gladiator. So, like, I missed Demonic Gladiator by like 70 points or something like that too. I could have got it, but I just fucking wasn't, I wasn't good enough. I played like shit. This mount, super unique. There's no other mount that, that's like this one. It's really, really cool. Let's see, what's some of the other ones we've got? These are just awful. I'm still mad at Blizzard about these mounts. Inmire Flare, this one's kind of like. This one sucks. I think this one kind of. This one is like, it's cool. Like, these are cool, but there's so many of them that there's like this, like, let me make it very clear. These are one of my favorite mounts in the game. Like, I love these, but they're still like, it's not like a big deal to get them. This one was like really, really cool because it's like the original Infernal from like Warcraft 3 and shit, like the green one. So if you had somebody get this, it was a massive, big fucking deal. This one was cool, but I didn't really like it. Let's see. These are really cool, but the problem is that so many of them are like for example, like this one is just super easy to get. Like, all you have to do is do Tormentors of Torghast and it drops. So it kind of like, it devalues these other three, because I feel like these other three have like relatively similar difficulty curves with like acquiring them. Like, this one's like super annoying to get and it takes like fucking months of farming. This one is like a Gory of the whatever Raider, which was like, you know, hard to do at the time. And this one here was also like a meta achievement. So like, these three were pretty relatively similar in difficulty to get, but this one's just so easy, it devalues the idea of the mounts. Let's see. They had cool mounts like this too. Like, just in general, like, you guys see what I'm saying, where like, if you add in a new mount, it has to be something that's like super, super fucking rare. Oh, I forgot about this. Oh, you can get a blue Storm Drake. Yeah, I forgot all about him. Keystone Master mounts, they're not that big of a deal. Well, I remember whenever I did this, I'd log on before 10 a.m. so I could farm this on all my characters because it would reset at 10 a.m. Let's see. Yeah, those are some of the ones that I would say are invincible. Yeah, well, the thing is, it's like whenever somebody got on Invincible and you saw somebody riding Invincible, this was a big deal. Like, there was no other mount, like, even though the Spectral Horse, it was like, it's technically invincible, it's really not. Like, it doesn't look like invincible at all. It's completely different. So, like, Invincible was kind of like a standalone mount. Same with Mimiron said. Invincible getting kind of outdated. I don't know. I think it's really cool. Invincible's always going to be one of my favorite mounts in the game. I don't care how many people have it or what. Lucid Nightmare mount lost value because there's so many easy to get variations. Well, it's like, that's actually a really good example. What's the fuck's it called? This one. This is a mount that you get for 100 exalted reputations. This is a joke. A literal fucking joke. What the fuck, man? Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me, man? 100 exalted reps. And all you do is you get a recolor. Looks bad, yeah, I know. Wouldn't be that bad. No, if this was the only mount in the game that was like this, it'd be totally fine. But there's like 3 other ones. There's like the Wild Dream Runner. There's the Ascended. Look at this. These are 2 different mounts, by the way, guys. Lucid, yeah, Lucid Nightmare is another one, and then another one is these. These are the same. It's the same thing. It just has armor on. That's Lucid Nightmare with armor on. Yes, I'm malding about it. I don't like it. It annoys me. For 100 exalted reps, you can get a freaking chariot pulled by 4 of those? Yeah, I fucking agree. I fucking agree. You know what I think Blizzard should do? They should go back and just remake the mount achievement rewards. And just like have it give both mounts. Like as a fucking apology. So like if they were gonna do a 500 mount achievement mount, you know what would be cool? Like they could do a blue version of this. Because we don't have a blue flame talon, like a light blue. That would be kind of cool. Because it would be unique and it would be like following the same as like the 400 mount. Like I don't want that. Like that's not my best in case. Like best case scenario, no. But it would be better than what they're doing now. So like Anzu, yeah, but like a flaming version. Now what would I want to see them make a mount out of? I'll show you what they should make a mount. Where is he? Are you gonna tell me now he's not here? Okay, whatever. Yeah, Croaky. Yeah, exactly. Make this amount right here. It's where you're like riding right there on top of him. Or something like that. That would be really, really, really cool. Or you could even make this amount too. No, the other things I don't think that would really work. Zackrawrr, I mean, they pretty much made Halandris amount. Sylvanas amount, yeah, true. Yeah, none of these other ones would really work as mounts. This could work as a Sludgefist could work as a mount. But like I'm not a big fan of like riding on top of like a really big NPC as a mount. Like the kind of mounts that I like are like this, like a dragon, like you're riding on top of a dragon. It makes sense, you know. But like if they were gonna do something, like imagine if they had What would be like a cool 500 achievement mount? Unarmored Soul Eater? Yeah, that'd be cool. The Deathwing mount, they already have that. This is another example of like a mount that's like just completely fucking unique. Like there's no other mount that even looks remotely close to this in the game. Zackrawrr mount? Yeah, exactly. Carriage, yeah. I've said that before. I've been a big fan of that idea. These are just like, as I said, I'm not really a big fan of like the large mounts that you're just like kind of sitting on top of. I don't really like them that much. Let's see. Caterpillar? Yeah, I've mentioned that before. I have like an armored alpaca, that'd be kind of funny. Yeah, I don't know. But I think the otter for 500 mounts is pretty bad. Like ultimately that's what I'm really trying to get at, is that I don't like it either. I think it's bad. The T-Rex, yeah. What are you gonna do for Mage Tower mount? I need to do that. I'll probably do for Sigrun, because I want to do like the classes that I know how to play the best. Like for example, I know how to play Warrior, obviously, so like that's going to be 3. And I can also play Prot Paladin about as well as I can play Prot Warrior. It would probably take me actually a little bit to like get more used to it, but it wouldn't really take that long. Red, yeah, I did all of them back whenever they came out. Need a minimum of 3 characters. Is it 9 total? Maybe it is. Hearth over here. They added enrage timers to the fights. I feel like all you really need to do is just like, how much enhancement was the easiest? I literally one-shot it. Maybe so. Seven different ones doing 3 different characters. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think for healer I'm gonna do shaman, because I used to heal a lot on my shaman, so I'm used to it. Shaman's harder than others? Oh, well then maybe I should try another one. Prot Pally, Prot Warrior. No, I know, yeah. You have to do one of each, right? So you have to do like Sigrun, the Fat Chick, Cruel, the Brothers, the Healing one, and fuck, there's like one more. Oh, the Mage guy. I think that's all of them. But yeah, I just haven't really cared too much about getting that done. I'll probably get it done soon. Gotta get a lot of these too. I think whenever Season 4 comes out, I'm just gonna pop off on this. Get this mount, get that done. Special feat of strength, you complete all of them? Yeah, I know. I don't think I'm gonna do that. I just don't want to. I've never really been like much of an alt player anyway, so it's like not really that big of a deal for me. You do Rolex with yours? Like the duty finder in Final Fantasy? Yeah, I do that sometimes. Like I usually just queue, and whoever queues in with me, you know? Got that one. Yeah, I've got to figure out how to get a lot of these new ones. How long does this one take to get? Let me look it up. Okay. Okay. Step 9 is the consuming pain. Oh, I see. Farming to 200, yeah. The cube that looks like it's from Zereth Mortis that absorbs you whenever you mount up. Like the Ozma mount in Final Fantasy, that would be cool. Yeah, I like that mount. What's the worst mount you had to grind? The worst mount grind I've had. Let me think. Mail Muncher wasn't that bad. Probably Famu. Honestly, I would say it's probably the eggs. The Necro-Ray eggs. Because I don't have those even now. Gmod grinding? Yeah, but that one's not really that bad. Like, I don't hate Gmod grinding really at all compared to the other ones. The other ones are just like a massive pain in the dick. 165, still no eggs? Yeah, I'm gonna make a post about that. Because, like, I mean, if this is like the intended design, then that's fine, right? This is like, you know, they're gonna make the game the way they're gonna make the game. But in my opinion, I don't think it's like it's good design at all. I got all eggs by 120 chests. Yeah, but like the thing is that, like if you need to get 3, I find it to be unrealistic and kind of dumb that something that's just a reskin of amount added in Argus is something that's like that hard to get. Don't you even think about it. Get away from me. You're really gonna get on me, huh? You gonna honk? He's gonna honk. That's why it hasn't released yet. Yep, just like what I said. Did you do seasonal Mythic Plus achievements? Yeah, I get all the achievements that I can. There's my last one right there. Okay. That guy probably killed me. He's got really good gear. He's got better gear than me. What's the most runs you had to do for a mount? The Drake of the North Wind took me a really, really long time. Like a ridiculously long time. Makes me mad just to think about it. Don't you think that Dragonflight, if Dragonflight be better than Legion, people will still complain because it's WoW? If Blizzard gave players gold bars, players would complain that they're too heavy. Yes, you are right that a lot of people will complain about anything that Blizzard does, no matter what. Blizzard literally made Overwatch free to play and got rid of loot boxes, and people still shit on them. They still shit on Overwatch. But listen, I mean, that's the way the game goes. People always complain, but it doesn't invalidate a lot of the criticisms. It does, though. Like, the thing is that, like, if somebody is just going to complain about everything, then, yeah, like, I take, like, somebody who complains about everything, I take their feedback much less seriously. Like, I'm not going to go and, you know, somebody's like, oh, well, everything about the game is bad. It's like, okay, well, I mean, fuck. Like, what are you doing? It's a boy who cried wolf, yeah. Blizzard's earned the ill will. No, I don't. I mean, I think like you could say that, but the people that feel this way are always gonna. I mean, like they felt this way ever since like Cataclysm. I mean, man, if you're not happy with the state of the game, it has been how many years? Just stop playing it. Like, if you actually don't like the game. Like, there are a lot of things about WoW that I don't like, but I in general like the game. But like, if you don't like the game, you've been playing it for 5 years, like, it's time to stop, man. Get any new mounts? Not yet. I'm deciding what I'm gonna... I'll probably farm out to Haunta in a bit. Start working on that. I probably should actually just farm Genesis motes today, to be honest with you. Do that for a little while and then do my video. Actually, yeah, that's probably what I'll do. I'll go do Tahanta and then maybe do that. I was thinking about farming out like 50,000 anima too, because I need to get all the mounts and everything. That would kind of save a lot of time. $50K, it's not a big deal. You just do it. Like if you're having trouble, like just do it, and then you won't have trouble anymore. So yeah, I was gonna make a video talking about the new Slime Cat mount and the fact that it's only gonna be available in normal mode. Yeah, and just kind of like, what do you guys think about that? Because like, I don't think it's like a bad thing, but I think that it is and it's not. And don't care. Yeah, it's like not really a big deal. I don't think that it's a big deal, but I do think that people thinking that it's a big deal is a big deal. It's like, why is it that WoW can't add any reward into the game that requires any degree of like social or like player cooperation? Because that's effectively what happens, is like anytime that a mount gets added into the game, it's like, okay, well you're gonna do this, and it's gonna be a lot harder for you, but you know, you get a better reward. Like, why is it that WoW players are so against that? And I think it's easy to say like, oh, it's because WoW players are stupid and lazy, but I don't really think that's the whole story. I think there's a lot of reasons why that's the case, and it's not just because WoW players are stupid and lazy. I think it's also because like playing in groups is hard to do in WoW, because like in other games like Final Fantasy or like Lost Ark specifically, there's only really one goal, and that's killing the boss. And most people, like, also rotations are very easy in Lost Ark, so you're probably not going to have like somebody like, and this is just for Vulcan and Vicus. I mean, obviously I'm sure that Belshazzar will be a lot harder, but in a general sense, whenever you're wiping in Lost Ark, it's not because of DPS. It's 99 times out of 100 because somebody did the mechanics wrong. It's crazy to me. Yeah, people don't like it. Yeah, I know. The game's 10x easier than WoW. I actually think that's not the case. I think that if you actually break down individual player responsibility, there are way more points of individual player responsibility and decision-making time that occur in Lost Ark on like Vicus than on a lot of fights on Heroic. Like, I'm saying like moment-to-moment decision-making. So like in WoW, I feel like what happens is like there's like so many preconditions that players will not want to play with you unless you meet these preconditions. So I'm talking about like achievements, certain types of gear, your spec, everything like that. And like, why are people in WoW so much more restrictive with like who they want to play with versus people in other games? So like, why is that? I think it's very easy to say, oh well, Yeah, I probably should do that. I think I'll do that on stream. Yeah, I'll farm that mount on stream. It's hard to get more hard to get shit done without playing optimally. Well, it's not though. Like for example, whenever you're playing WoW, most of the time in a raid, you're not wiping because of DPS. And if you are wiping because of DPS, it's because people died. And so because people died, now you don't have the DPS. So I'll give you an example. Like whenever I was doing Lahuvum, why were we dying? We were dying because people stood in mechanics and they died. Like we weren't wiping to some DPS check. It's not like people couldn't do enough damage. Oh wow, this guy's gonna die. All I do is I just wait for this mob to almost be dead, then I come in and I just swoop in, get the rewards, and then I'm out. Fuck that boss. Okay. Got his ass. Oh, I have to kill this thing too. I forgot about him. Alright, I'll do all the work for me. When you set a bar and make that requirement, you're the one who makes a legitimate expectation out there. Well, I think that a lot of people, like, people want to go into something with the expectation that they're playing with people who are going to set themselves up to succeed. But I think the expectation to do that in WoW is higher than in a lot of other games. So like what I'm saying is that why is that the case? Current raids have too many bosses. You know what I think the problems are? So one of the problems is for sure the amount of like the amount, like, all right, so let me make a pie chart. No. So we'll do 2 of them, okay? Okay, so Lost Ark. Okay. Do you guys understand that? So that's basically what Lost Ark is, right? You see that? Even though trash dies faster in 10 seconds? Yeah. So in WoW, you have Running back. Clearing trash. Buffing. Summons. Summoning players, yes. Let's see here. Repairs. Yeah, I mean, repairs aren't really that long. I think this is basically buffing is still like food buffs, etc. I'll just do applying light protection, right? Like, this is not really, that's not very good, but it's like generally that's what it is. This is what the problem is right here. Is that in WoW, you spend less than half of the time that you spend, like, and I actually would be very curious to watch, like, one of my raids. Actually, you know what? Let's do that. Let's do that right now after I finish this. I'd like to actually try something like this out. And we're gonna look and we're gonna talk about, like, how much time is actually spent playing the game. Nope. Okay. Chekhavad. Yeah, you can say the same for Final Fantasy. Vundal, you like, what part of, no, I'm not gonna do that. You're just completely wrong, and you know you're wrong. Okay, so yeah, I'm not gonna waste everybody's time with that. It's just obviously dumb. Okay, so when was the last time I did a raid? Let's see. Videos. Did I do a raid in here or not? Only a little bit. I must have done something, right? Okay. Let's do yesterday's raid. Let's do yesterday's raid, and we're gonna look at, like, what the time spent for the raid is, okay? So we're gonna start. Is this where I make the raid? Looks like it is. We're gonna go to the normal mode version now. Okay, so all right, so from 201, right here, it says 201. Spent in raid on 7/30/2022. Okay, raid start, 2 minutes, 01 seconds. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna look and see, all right, so we're at 10:02:01, so let's see how long until we actually get into the raid. Until all players are in the raid. Okay, let's assume it's 9 minutes. And you have to keep in mind also, like, they cleared trash ahead of time. And this is literally the fastest it can possibly be, because I'm doing this with a rate of people that are massively over-geared, and we're speedrunning the instance. Okay, first boss pull at 2:09. 18. Okay. And let's see how long it's going to be until first boss is dead. Okay, we're going to say 2:14. First boss dead. 2:14:50. Okay, so now we're going to wait until the next boss pull. Okay. And we'll wait until the next boss pull. Okay. 2:20. Pull. 2:20:36. Okay. Sorry, I know this is kind of jarring to watch. Okay, 2:24:11. Dead. Okay. And now let's go to the next boss. Okay. Third boss pull. 2:26:56. Okay. I probably should have got you guys farming anima marks for me while I'm doing this. Okay, there we go. 2:29. Third boss dead. 2:29:50. Okay, and now let's go next one. Okay, boss pulled. (07) Master RP, yeah, that was very fast. You just go from one boss to another. Very, very simple. Okay. Fourth boss dead. 49. Okay, when's the next boss pull? Okay. And you guys will see what the point is with all this, right? Yeah, you want TOC again? I think that it needs to be closer to TOC, yeah. I mean, I will just make that completely clear. Absolutely. This is the most efficient raid that you can possibly... This is the most efficient raid that you can possibly have. You have people that are massively overgeared for the fights. There are no wipes. Nobody AFKs at all. And you still have, like, just look at this, right? Pull and dead, pull dead, pull dead. Like, it's like 30 or 40% of the time here. Between these. Let me actually just add this one in. Somewhere around there. Like, look how much time is in between some of these fights. Yeah, and so you can multiply the time between these fights, even more for a casual guild. It's too much, man. There's too much time-wasting mechanisms in the fights. Rebuffing, refood, wipe protection, running back, trash pulls, trash wipes. This is not good. It's not fun. It's not good. It's annoying. And I think that's one of the big reasons why a lot of people are frustrated about doing normal mode. And they're frustrated about doing the raids in general. Is because they don't want to do that. Alright, let's do a 4x4 so we can get more of the moats. Who's actually complaining about that though? Well, I mean, I am right now. Yeah, I am. Like, at this exact very moment, like, I'm complaining about it because I think it's bad. Rating is dying, though, is Mythic Plus, in my opinion. Rating strongly reward highest possible item level gear. What would I tell? What would you say if I told you that's already the case? You can only get 285 gear from rating. There's no way to get 285 gear except for PvP only gear from Mythic Plus. So, like, that's not true at all. Can we get a Moon Boy or something? Haven't valued the time, feel some way get rewarded upon finding the boss. The reason why people were more okay, so let's talk about why people were more okay with trash back then versus now. Okay? So one of the big reasons why people were more okay with trash back then is that scarcity of gear was much higher. So having a trash drop or an item drop from trash, like let's say the misplaced servo arm or something like that, was a much bigger deal in like Naxxramas 60 than it is now. Because people don't have those types of rewards, weren't having those types of rewards thrown at them all the time. Well, Connell, you know I'm right. Yeah, you know I'm right with this. Like, this is dumb, man. It's dumb. Like, it's so dumb. Like, it's a massive waste of fucking time. And if somebody else, Blocky, do you want to make a second group and just come over to us? Yeah, just make a second group, guys, so we can do 4x4 and farm it even faster. Just come over to us. Don't you think certain trash mobs were also like mini bosses? They would wipe raids sometimes? I mean, like, yeah, you have like some, like that first NPC at Sunwell was like a pretty big check for people that wanted to do clears. Reason to defend this waste time stuff. This is why people are just messing with you. Well, I actually think that there's a lot of WoW players that have only played WoW ever, and they never played any other MMO that doesn't have features like this, and they genuinely think that it's okay. Like, they genuinely are like, yeah, this is fine. Instance immediately to boss room, trash should definitely be reduced. Yeah, I think that, like, it shouldn't be a boss, you know, you shouldn't be on, like, a conveyor belt, just, like, going from boss to boss. Probably not, no. You can make it a little bit more complex than that. But I think that, like, what Blizzard should really do is that they should look at the way an average rating, like, they need to think of and find, like, what in their mind consists of an average rating guild. Like, what do you think is an average rating guild? And watch that rating guild play the game, and then write down how much time they're spending actually playing the game versus doing something that leads towards playing the game. And the reason why people were more okay with trash in, like, let's say Molten Core or BWL is because trash drops were really important in Molten Core and BWL. You needed the, like, lava cores and fiery cores. You needed the, you know, the trash drops. I think, no, Ring of Spell Power was a random boss drop. But there were trash drops that would come from there, and also you had reputation, which was another huge factor. And so by the time that you finished getting your Hydraxian Waterlord's reputation, like, you had been raiding Molten Core at that point for months. Like, and that was what, I mean, obviously I know that some people were able to get it faster than that, but an average person, especially back then, was okay with it for that reason. And just don't raid? Holy shit. Well, I understand that you're upset that your favorite video game is being criticized, but why don't you just try to turn on your brain for a minute and listen to what's being said. Yeah, I understand this is probably very hard for you to deal with, and it's upsetting for you, and you're getting angry, and, like, your blood pressure is probably higher than it is on average right now. But you're gonna make it through this, okay? It's gonna be okay. So anyway, basically what I'm really trying to get at here is that Blizzard needs to look, because I think that if they did an evaluation on what an average rating guild or an average rating team does, over half of the time that an average rating team is playing together, they're not doing the raids. They're not doing the bosses. They're not really moving forward in the raid. There's nothing to compare with Final Fantasy. Well, I think that you absolutely should compare with Final Fantasy and other games that do it better, because those are the games that people would play instead of WoW. And I think that you have people even like Scripe that are saying a lot of the same things that I'm saying. So it's not like this is some, like, uber casual perspective. These are opinions held by, like, world first players too. Yeah, you can easily compare the two games because they're both MMOs, and, like, yeah, obviously Lost Ark plays a lot different than WoW, but, like, fundamentally Lost Ark has bosses and WoW has bosses, and, like, what is the process of getting to those bosses in each different thing? Like in Lost Ark, for example, you queue into the first gate. The first gate has a bit of trash. Like, trash in Lost Ark is, like, I don't know, maybe it'll be different in another one, but, like, trash takes almost no time at all. Like, trash, it's pretty much non-existent. It's there, it's cosmetic. Lost Ark's bosses aren't fun when you get to them, though. I mean, if you don't think Vaulton is fun, I mean, I guess, like, we just have different opinions of, like, what's fun. Because I had more fun doing Vaulton than I had doing any boss, probably besides Painsmith, in all of Shadowlands. Putting CC for trash, having classes more important was fun to me. Well, you can say that for sure, but like, I think that that's not really something that people really like doing. And that's why the moment that they could, they would just AoE everything down. It's because it's easier and faster. People are always going to do whatever's faster. Tons of fun on Sludgefist. I actually think Sludgefist is a great boss, and I like Denathrius too, but I think Painsmith is the best boss in the whole expansion. Sludgefist is annoying as melee. I agree with that, but I also think that it's extremely well designed. It's, in my opinion, like Sludgefist is an S tier fight. Like, it's extremely well designed, ironically, in like the exact same way that Vaulton is. Is like the fight becomes harder as like Sludgefist and Vaulton both like destroy their environment. And like the way that they interact with their environment changes the difficulty of the fight dynamically throughout the fight. So just annoying is one of the easiest fights. I think that he just means like moving out. Like it probably, I would say it's probably easier for ranged. There's like less movement that you have to do as ranged, aside from moving into the chains. Yeah, that's another thing, is like a lot of the mythic fights, like for example, like I would rate Siegecraft Blackfuse Mythic as like one of the best fights of all time, but like I literally just don't know enough about the game right now to even be able to rate like what was Halandrus on Mythic, like because I didn't do it. Post-Note Jailer is really fun. Did you do Castle Nathria Mythic? Only part of it. I didn't do the whole thing. If it had super easy mechanics, was intense and punishing pre-nerf, insane fight all around. Guy who made Sludgefist also made Sludgefist and Painsmith. Yeah, that guy, whoever it is a fucking a legend. You can buy Genesis motes. Not really. So yeah, let me go back and like just kind of like get back to my main point, is that I think that people's aversion towards raiding in WoW is actually not because of the difficulty of the game, it's because of all of the other like kind of agitating factors. Like it's not just raiding, it's like all of these other things that make it worse than what it would naturally be. So it's not only that you wipe on the boss, it's that somebody leaves the raid. And then it's not only that somebody leaves the raid, it's that you don't have a warlock to summon them. So like now you're in a position where you have to spend, you know, twice as long waiting for something to happen. So like whenever you compare the amount of time spent in WoW, like let's say a boss takes like 10 attempts to kill, the odds are that those 10 attempts from entering the dungeon to completing the 10th attempt will take a lot longer in WoW than they will in another game like Final Fantasy or Lost Ark. Because you have runtime, trash pulls, buffing, wiping, res protection, summons, all of these other factors. So because of that, I think it adds to the agitation that people have with raiding in WoW, and it does it in an unnecessary way that makes people resent WoW raiding and is bad for the game. So that's why I think that people want the mount to be on LFR. It's because of those factors more than the actual difficulty. Because you never hear complaints like this in Lost Ark whenever there's something cool that's from like a really hard boss. Nobody complains about that at all. Do you not have to run the bosses in Lost Ark? You do, but it's like extremely short. It's like, imagine running to the boss in Lost Ark is like, let me see. Does it show like on the map where this is? I don't know how to look at where the map is on one of these places. But anyway, it's like you basically kill like 2 or 3 packs of trash that die in like 5 hits, and then you're at the boss. And then after you kill the trash, you never have to clear it again. Got Sunhide Gromley. Oh shit, congrats. I remember whenever I got mine, that was a big deal. Raids with a ton of add-ons are kind of killing raiding for me. No, I don't think that's a problem at all with like casual raiding. I think that casual players like, but there is a problem. Like, I'll give you an example. So like you look at this fight. I think this is a great example. Let me actually just so you guys can see it as good as possible. Quality, 1080p. Okay, so look how many effects are on the screen here. Like, look, you've got Kyrian spears down, you have Consecrate, you have Rock Golem, you have other effects. So, like, oh, you got, like, the, so, like, right here, there is a mechanic there. So, like, you're watching, and, like, you have so many other things that are happening on the screen. You can barely even see where your character is. And none of this is the boss effect. So if you really want to be able to avoid that, you have to look at like these things, not even the swirlies on the ground. Like, I have no idea where the swirlies end in this area here. I have literally no clue. So look at that. There needs to be better swirl. Yeah, there needs to be better indicators. Yes, I know. And so again, this is a pretty easy to avoid one. Oh, here we go. Oh, so I got hit by one of them. Let's see why I got hit by one of them. So I did make a mistake here. So let's see if you can tell what I was standing in. Can you easily visually discern what I am and am not in? No. That's bad. Even on slow time. Yeah, that's fucking terrible. What I'm saying is that that fight would be a lot easier if nobody else was in the room. And the difficulty of that mechanic would be infinitely easier if there are no other players present. I think that will always be the case with every game, no matter what, but the degree that it exists in WoW is way too high. The mechanic's easy whenever melee stack. So then it's not easy. You can't have a mechanic and then say if everybody plays perfectly with perfect coordination, then it's not annoying. Like, and again, that again goes back to like what I was saying about casual players. Stacking was perfect coordination. It absolutely is. You're not going to get everybody to stack together in a normal mode raid. It's just not going to happen. And also, like, the fact that it's mandatory for it to happen, for you to even be able to see the way that... Like, in general, being able to see what's happening on your screen, I do not think should be a vertical of difficulty. Being able to actively discern where you need to and don't need to be based off of visual indicators should not be part of the difficulty of a fight. It's not fun, it's not rewarding, it's not consistent, it's not enjoyable. And you compare that to something like Painsmith, it's very easy to see where you need to and where you don't need to be on Painsmith. And that's again why it's such a good fight. It's the same thing with Sludge Fist too. After they did they changed the graphics, because originally they were hard to see too. How many motes do I have to farm? 18,000. I think a lot of players just suck though. We saw any insane complaints about Mage Tower difficulty when it first launched in Legion, then it relaunched last year. A lot of players just suck. Yeah, I mean, like, that's true. Yeah, I mean, of course a lot of players suck. Sort of bad in Mythic Plus 2 with 5 players and just huge packs. Yeah, exactly. It's hard to see what's happening on the screen. Can they get better? Yeah, I think they can absolutely get better. You change the way that the visuals appear on the screen. Do you see it 90 to 95% of the time? I feel like this is complaining just for complaining. Do you see it or do they see it? Because I think that you're right. I think that there are a lot of people that are able to see things pretty much every time, and like I'm one of them. Like I would never get hit by mechanics whenever I would raid seriously, because I knew where to stand and I knew what to do to avoid having that problem happening. But what I'm saying is that difficulty is no, it's not a cap. Like it's not a cap. I used to be very good at raiding. I didn't stream. I'd focus only on the raid. I'd listen to Sean Paul every fucking night whenever I would raid, and I would never do anything wrong. So yeah, I mean, I focused on that like fucking crazy. So like, I know this better than anybody, but what I'm saying is that designing a game for people that play the game like I do, and play it as much as I do, yeah, I never felt like really smart for being able to avoid stuff like that. It was just annoying. You see what happened to Pyromancer? What happened to Pyromancer? Was raiding fun for you back then? Yeah, I enjoyed it. Life had a pregnancy and miscarriage? Well, if that's true, man, that fucking sucks. It's like a situation like I've never even been in a situation like that. I don't even know what to say. It just sounds fucking awful. It's the difference between challenging and punishing. It doesn't feel good to overcome a punishing mechanic, only a challenging one. I think it's also a matter of, it's a matter of just very simply being able to see what the fuck is going on. I mean, it's literally just that simple. Like, people want to be able to see what the fuck is happening on the screen. I got hit by that. I mean, just watch this. How am I supposed to see what this is? And this is the kind of things, I didn't even see that happen. Yeah. And like, what I'm telling you is like, if I was a Mythic Raider, that would never happen to me, because I would be playing on the very edge. Like, for example, like, remember World in Flames on Heroic Rag, where he would like kind of like slam his fist down and there would be like giant walls of flame that would go like in the front, the middle, or like the back? Well, I kept 100% uptime on Ragnaros at all times because I knew exactly where to stand inside the hitbox of Ragnaros, but outside of the hitbox of World in Flames. Like, and I was top DPS on that fight every single week, every single pull, every single time. So like, I would be able to do that, but the process of doing that and waiting for other people to figure out that mechanic is not enjoyable and not fun for, I think, most players. And I think that that difficulty curve happens whenever you have LFR players that go into normal mode, that get punished for not having strategic positioning because of the game's shortcomings. You didn't tell other raiders they could do it as well? Well, of course I did, but then, like, it's not about knowing that you can do it, it's about being able to execute it every single time. There are people that do it right once an attempt, or once a night, once a pull, but you have to do it right 10 times every pull. But I think that there are so many people that take pride in their overcoming mechanics like that, that they don't want to see them changed, because those mechanics are ways that they feel like they can distinguish themselves from other players that they feel like they're better than. And I think that mindset has led the game down a path that's really just divided players. More than anything, it's divided players. And you have people that can't even do normal mode now because they're expected to be able to overcome not only the mechanics of the boss, but the shortcomings of the visual clarity in the game. And also, like, the amount of time that you have to spend going to and from point A to point B in the game. And I think that hasn't made the game better. It's way better than it was in vanilla, with only 1% of the server doing nags. 1% of the player base doing a raid is probably not super cool, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. So, like, for example, the problem whenever raids have like 1% or single-digit completion rates, the problem is whenever the raids are the entire content of the game. That's what the issue is. Because back in vanilla WoW, Nax Ramus was not the only content in the game. So it didn't matter. I said also content outside of rating. Well, it also, I mean, like, you can't really compare the way that people played a video game in 2006 versus how they play it in 2022. Like, in Classic WoW, the completion rates for Nax were extremely high. I'm trying to compare them right now. Well, I'm not, really. I'm saying that, like, on a fundamental level, like, what are the differences? What I'm saying is you can't do a one-to-one comparison without applying a certain level of, like, criteria to it. Compare and focus on the raid, focus on streaming while raiding. Well, think about it like this. So, like, let's say it's undoubtable that my focus whenever I'm streaming is like, I have less focus while streaming versus whenever I'm just playing by myself. Right? You can clearly assume that, like, streaming is a debuff. But you can assume that, like, let's say my awareness is like 80 out of 100 and streaming takes it down to 60. Well, there's a lot of people who are at 40 to begin with and they're not streaming. And what I'm saying is that normal mode raiders are the ones that are at 40. Have you done one with a raid with a guild, not a pug? Guild raids almost always, or time, are more fun. Yeah, I don't have a VOD of, like, a guild raid. Here, let me ask you a question. So, if Blizzard went and they had, like, a fucking Big Brother thing where they were watching a random raid, like, let's take, let's take this guild right here. If Blizzard went and they watched this guild raid, how much, like, what percentage of the time do you think this guild would be actually pulling a boss? Like, actually pulling and engaging with a boss? $20 to 30% of the time. Please tell me that I am not the only person who sees that as a massive fucking problem. It's like my mom. Like, she would raid Karazhan, and she would always complain that some girl would be like, oh, I've got to take care of the baby. And then suddenly, everybody's sitting around waiting for her to come back. And she's standing there, everybody's waiting around, waiting. Then kick that person? Okay, so let's say you kick that person. Great solution. Then what? Then you have to find somebody else. Then you have to find somebody else that fits into the group because of the class specifics. Then you have to get them into the instance. And that's assuming that you just are able to do that right off the rip. You don't have to look for them. What's the solution? Here are some of the solutions that I would like to see Blizzard implement. I would like to see Blizzard implement a policy where players can respawn right in front of a boss that they die at. Like a good example of this is, let me think. Sludgefist. You die on Sludgefist, you run back, he's right there. You go up the stairs, and then there's Sludgefist. Yeah, Argus is another one. He's right there. Gruul. Gruul was annoying because you had to run back and trash respawn constantly. I would not use Gruul as an example. Raids like Final Fantasy? Yes, I think Final Fantasy has a better feature with this. And I also think that they should have, next to these bosses, some sort of summoning stone inside of the instance that you can automatically summon people into the instance at that boss for. That are not for warlocks or anything like that. Like anybody can, any two players or any one player even, can use that and summon people inside. Think of it a lot the same as like the Stakes of Marika in Elden Ring. Ready to be able to mass summon while we're at it? We had that in Cataclysm, and then Blizzard got rid of it. Do you think the idea of corpse running is outdated in general? It works in world PvP. It's important for world PvP, but outside of that, it doesn't really matter. It's generally just a waste of time. Want to try out the Crusader? In that way, yes. Yeah, I think that being able to zone in and be immediately in the same place as the rest of your group is a good thing. Like, yes. It's good for world content. There needs to be a cost to death. Otherwise, there's no tension. When have you ever felt tension in the game? Last time I felt tension in the game was whenever I was running through Winter Spring and fucking Dark Whisper Gorge at like level 40. There's no tension in the game, bro. It's just fucking annoying. There's no tension. Oh wow, I wonder if I'm gonna be able to survive this elite that does like 10% of my health every single hit while I'm on a mount and I have 18 different other heals and other escapes. Like there's no tension in the game. These mechanisms were implemented in a time where the world respected the punishments for failings. Now we have so much instant gratification. These things are seen as atrocious. The times have changed. Well, I don't like how you frame it as it's a bad thing, because I don't think that it's a bad thing at all. And I think that WoW actually itself was an example. Like, what people might forget about WoW is that WoW was actually the casual MMO at the time, because other MMOs wasted your time even more than WoW did. Wasn't a punishment at the time? Yeah, I mean, like, that was just the way that games worked, and like now people are better at designing them, and so they don't work that way anymore. WoW was first MMO to not have dying, not cause regression, is one of the biggest positives. Yeah, I know. That's the whole point. It's like the ironic thing is that I think Final Fantasy innovated on WoW in the same way that WoW innovated on EverQuest. And so did Lost Ark too. Final Fantasy is more casual and you praise it? I don't get it. Well, that's because I think that the type of casual content that Final Fantasy... Like, whenever you say Final Fantasy is more casual, you're not talking about like I don't think wasting time running back to a boss makes a game hardcore. I just think it makes it boring. Yeah, and New World is another example, right? Like how many, like doing Genesis or like even Tempest Heart, I think that, I don't know about the new instance, but there's way too much trash in those dungeons or those games too. Hardcore running back, yeah, it's just weird. Like what, like I don't know why MMO players take so much pride in having their time wasted. It's always been a mystery to me. You need to have consequences for failing, otherwise winning is less rewarding. 2D side scroller. How many From Software games have you played? Have you played any of the Dark Souls games or anything like that? Well, I guess like we don't need to engage and go all the way through that. What I'm saying is that I gained infinitely more fulfillment through killing Ishin than killing Sir Alone in Dark Souls 2. And it's because Ishin was a more challenging and harder boss, even though the time spent, like real life time spent, was probably about the same. Because I had to spend so much time running back to Sir Alone and like fighting all the knights. So the consequence for dying is dying. You don't need to have an extra consequence attached with dying. It's already there. It's in the name. You died. You have to go back and do the thing again. That's the consequence right there. From Software games are praised for it. Dark Souls 2 is universally accepted as the worst game. There are people that like it. They think that Dark Souls 2 is the best game, but it's undeniable that it is the most disliked game. Like you can look at any website, any group of people like talking about it, like content created online about the game. Like the only popular content about Dark Souls 2 is about how bad it is. But what I'm saying is that, like, From Software games are not praised because they are, because they punish you. They're praised because they're good games. Like, Elden Ring is a great example of this. Elden Ring is, like, one of the best games I've ever played. And I think there are almost no mechanics in Elden Ring that I would classify as punishing. Elden Ring's the worst for replayability, though. I don't know about that. I don't think so. Millennia, but choose optional DLC. I think that people don't like the Millennia fight. I usually don't like fights where it's like, you have to get this gimmick right or you're dead. I'm trying to think of another fight that's like that in like one of the, like, the fact that like you don't really even have to though. Like I don't know. Yorm, yeah, but like you can use magic on Yorm. It's easier, and Yorm's really easy at a base level. So all you have to do is like spend a lot of time. I was thinking like maybe Blood-Starved Beast or Blood-Crazed Beast and Bloodborne, but because like you pretty much have to parry it, but you don't really have to. You just have to understand, like, if you don't parry it, you have to understand the way the fight works really well. Just stagger him, he's dead. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Frostwolves in DLC area. Oh, Frigid Outskirts. Well, that's regarded as like the worst zone in like all games. There's what now? It's not a standing that fights death. I mean, stand behind the boss and hit it. I one-shot that boss whenever I fought it. Dark Souls 2 is what happens when you listen to fans say they want a harder experience. Well, that's not true. Dark Souls 3 is what happens whenever you listen to the fans that say they want a harder experience. Dark Souls 2 is what happens whenever a bad designer listens to the fans that say they want a harder experience. Dark Souls 3 is infinitely harder than Dark Souls 2. Like, I'm sorry, but if you're gonna tell me Midir is easier than any boss than in Dark Souls 2, you are insane. Or Gale, or fucking Nameless King even. I don't think Nameless King is that hard, but I also have the most experience on Nameless King out of every boss, so that's probably a big reason why. Sister Fried, yeah. Yeah. Phase 3, Sister Fried. Yeah, that's totally as hard as something in Dark Souls 2, guys. Yeah, it's about the same thing, you know. Uh-huh. Pursuer is hard as an early boss. Pursuer is, in my opinion, probably one of the best bosses in Dark Souls 2. I love Pursuer. It's thematic, it makes you feel good about rolling and avoiding the abilities. It's so good. Would you recommend Demon Souls? Yeah, but not like if you're going into Demon Souls and you're looking for like a challenge, you're really going to be hard pressed to find one. Flame Lurker is a pretty hard boss. And other than that, every other boss in the game is a joke. Bad, spec no adaptability. Yeah, that's a big factor too. One-shot Sister Fried, couldn't beat Midir alone. This might sound crazy. I one-shot Orphan of Kos and Lawrence, and I was using the two-handed axe, and I was just spamming R2, and then I did a replay of it on my stream. This was like a year and a half ago, and it took me like an hour to kill each one of them the second time. Shot Margit fight, 5-shot Milena. That's impressive. Round 10 for Elven Beast. See, like Elven Beast, I think it was like, wasn't it like the second time I did the fight I beat it? That shit was easy to me. Double gargoyles though, over 20 easily. I remember like, where was it?
Oh, yes! Oh, yeah, baby! Oh, you guys are pissed. You guys are actually pissed about that one for sure. You're upset. I know you're upset about that one. You have to be. That's fucking...
So, yeah, I mean, some people are going to have hard time with some bosses. Other people are going to have hard time with other bosses. Would anyone be mad that he killed a boss? Because it makes them think back about the fact that they spent like 3 hours on that boss and McConnell killed it really easily. And it makes them feel stupid, that's why. Am I gonna play Genshin Impact? Yeah. Yeah, I'll play Genshin Impact. Why not? When? I don't know. Hopefully when I get a sponsor for it. You gonna try out Tower of Fantasy? Yeah, comes out the 10th. I'm gonna play it on release. I plan to be back to streaming by then. Because like that is the 10th is a Wednesday, so yeah, I'll probably be back by then. Do you have a sponsor for Tower Fantasy? No, I don't. It's an MMO. I'd like to, like, as much as I'd like to have a sponsor for it, I'd like to actually just play the game and be like 100% real about the game. Like, cause like what I really do is I do like criticism on video games, right? And like the odds are like the first couple of days playing the game is gonna be really fun. Because like playing any MMO on release is really fun. You gonna spend money on Genshin? Yeah, I might. They'll do like those wishes things, sure. They'll get like Rich and Tectone and Discord with me. It would be like XQC and Train and Greek. Sponsor's always biased. Well, the thing is, like, it's a particular thing for me, because like, what do I really do on most of my content? Is I criticize video games. That's pretty much what I do. So whenever you do that, and then you take a sponsor and you can't criticize the game, then it's different. So it's like, doing first impressions of a game, I think, is the best way for me to do a sponsored stream, because like that's kind of like, you're not going to run into a lot of the problems at the beginning of a game. We need one more person for our group. Genshin's way less pay to win. There's a plus at least. Well, I don't know. I'll try out the game and see what it's like, man. Yeah, I'm not really that worried about it. Do you guys want me to read what I wrote in the to Blizzard about the SOAR thing? Read my post? Yeah? Okay. I read, so actually, I'm gonna go get a cookie, then I'll go read it. Okay. I'll be right back. Well, mm. Finish the cookie, then I'll do it. More big guy. Is that Dungeon Fire and Wrath? I'll probably just do what they did back on Wrath, add it halfway through. It's chocolate chip. That's so good shit. All right. Sorry about that. We're good. So I said to Blizzard, wanted to throw in my 2 cents for the dragon riding / Soar convo. I think the change to Soar is bad and is fixing a problem that doesn't exist. Going fast is fun, and if you make people go slower, then it's less fun. In my mind, and I think in the eyes of a lot of people, that's really how simple it is. I'd really like this change. I'd really like to see the change be reverted because it's a lot more fun to go at 930% speed. I think this plus giving players the ability to use dragon riding everywhere in the game not only removes the unique advantage that Zackrawrr have, but also gives it to everyone so they can enjoy it too. This seems like the easiest W you can get, that not only removes the perceived advantage, but also broadens the scope of how all players can enjoy the game. I think that's pretty fair. Let's try, bro. Yeah, we'll see what happens. If ever we do anything but being in Dragon Isles, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. I got this fucking... There we go. Soda is in a bottle. It's annoying to get out. Wow. You still working out, by the way? Yeah, every day. Every day. Okay.